a positive update at long last. About 45 minutes after the match was expected to start, we're getting to know that the toss will be held at 8:50 p.m. IST, which is at the time of this recording 5 minutes away. So we're very, very close to getting a start. And then 9:15 p.m. IST, which is 25 minutes after the toss, we will be getting the first ball. And by the way, in case you're wondering what the weather conditions there are like, it looks like the sun is out. I think we've seen away the worst of the rain.
Yeah, I mean, as I had mentioned in the earlier reports, and what Nikhil also aspired to at certain points, the worst of the weather is now behind.
But
there is no chance of rain now, at least for the next 4 to 5 hours, at least. 4 to 5 hours, I think, is more than enough for you to get the match done. And anyway, see, it's a 10 over game at this point after 1:45 a.m. Cutoff is 1:45. So by that time, the match would have been finished. Everything would have been done. And because of this, now it's only the focus on the game. And looking at it, with no rain forecast in the next 2 to 3 hours, I don't know whether the decision to bat first or second, because we know that the rain is not going to be around. What will they do?
I would still look to put the opposition in. You know why? Because again, it's been under covers a little longer. There's been a good chunk of rain around. Moisture could be a factor.
Plus high humidity.
High humidity. You could have a little bit of wind still around. I would say, listen, you don't know the conditions are anywhere a lottery. We know that this is a pitch that, according to the pitch report that is being put out there, is going to be low, skiddy and favor spin. Better to know what you're chasing.
Yeah.
That in mind, as well as the fact that there's been so much rain, win the toss, look to bat second.
69 meters, 70 meters, 79 meters. So you're definitely getting the largest dimension of the West Indies stadium of all. Because Providence, if you look at it, 79 meters straight, you do 10. And because of a slow pitch, you just manage to clear the sixes at that point.
Yeah.
So it is not going to be easy. And the team that wins the toss psychologically will have a big advantage.
Yeah, but just before talking about the match, I'm a little disappointed by the number of fans that have turned out for the semi-final. It doesn't look like a jam-packed stadium. What do you expect for an India game, and that to a semi-final?
Look, the problem is, see, the pricing.
Pricing and in the day, it's a Thursday.
It's a Thursday.
No, but Indian fans who have travelled, firstly, I think not all of them were able to actually reach Guyana in itself is a really big problem.
See, there are visa issues. It's very complicated to get a visa in Guyana.
Even if you get a visa, you won't get the flight.
It's a South American country, and most South American countries, if you look at it, for India, the amount of paperwork you need. One of our former colleagues had to cover the Dakar rally that was in Paraguay, Peru or Paraguay. He had to really run around to ensure he got his visa.
His paperwork took time.
Paperwork took time, and that is why, see, the pricing, paperwork and all those kind of things, for an ordinary West Indies fan, this doesn't matter.
Yeah.
For some people of the Barmy army there, and also most of the Indian fans, that is the only thing it matters.
So especially after the rain, seeing the conditions, the pitch report as per what we can read and also see by the look of it, do you think that the English team, India team, I think for these conditions settled 3 spinning options to 3 fast bowling options, you're batting till number 8. I don't think you can see any change in the Indian side. So do you think that, I was reading somewhere, I don't exactly remember who said this, but they were saying that England would even go in with 4 spinning options, seeing the conditions.
I think it was Paul Collingwood who was saying it on the broadcast. But see, I think it would be a risk, because then they'd be risking changing their team composition.
Right now they have an Adil, Rashid, Livingston and
Moeen
Ali.
You have 3 options. I don't think it
and
makes
all 3 different options.
Yeah, exactly.
Will you get a Will Jackson?
I mean, at least Will Jacks then, to be fair, Will Jacks, the one game that he did bowl, it was the game against Australia, he got taken to the cleaners, but that was also a very different pitch. This pitch clearly favors, I think Will Jacks may be the option there, would also extend your batting lineup a little bit, but then you will have to sacrifice most potentially a pacer.
Sam Curran?
No.
Jordan?
No.
See, it is a choice between.
I think it'll be Reece Topley.
Topley, but
No.
you are not going
Topley
to
will not
go
be
away
there.
with your best power play bowler.
Exactly. That's
So the choice is between Archer and if you look at it, Jordan. But Jordan's got a hat trick.
And Archer has a very good record against the Indian top
Exactly.
order. Rohit in particular, I think he's got him 3
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
and
Like how
Adil is
Bumrah,
85.
like how Bumrah has troubled Butler, Archer has troubled Rohit.
Correct.
So
So
that is why
I don't think they're then making a change.
I think both teams are going to change.
Yeah, and I see 3 spin options I think are enough.
Yeah.
I don't think you
Oh.
need more.
I don't
Bright
see-
sunshine.
I feel
Yeah.
that no, I could be wrong, totally wrong also, but I do have this feeling that England might get in a Will Jacks.
But then who goes out?
That's the real thing. Then either they do a like for like batting option switch,
Yeah.
a pure batter, maybe a Harry Brook goes out.
Oh, but Harry Brook has been your best
Exactly,
middle order bat in for
exactly.
England.
That's the risk.
We'll come to it in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, we'll come to know about it. See, now it's, I think, Pycroft who's there. I think it's Andy Pycroft. Or is it Jeff Crow?
See, toss is a very crucial one. let's
It
be
is,
honest.
it is.
And I think it's Rohit who has the coin in his hand
Yeah,
because.
because seeding wise.
The highest.
yeah, and I kind of figured it because Joss has the mic in his hand.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
He'll make the call.
Oh, this is a vital toss. And England have won the toss. And I think they will bowl.
Yeah, considering I think England this entire tournament have done well while chasing,
Yeah.
I don't think it would make any sense for them to deviate from that. So
I
definitely
think-
going to bowl first.
I think they will
It's going
bowl.
to be an interesting semi-final.
Oh, but it's
is-
very interesting, you know why? Because I think both teams would have gotten what they wanted. India, so far this tournament have more often than not tended to be, okay, there we go, failed, have been okay, let's say, getting big runs or getting runs on the board and then ensuring that their bowlers can defend.
Yes.
There's been a fair few matches they've won like that.
Pakistan, Australia, and if you look at it, Bangladesh and also the Afghanistan.
Yeah, that's 4
But
games.
Shenza, the difference in those games and here is that it's a knockout.
No, I
And
agree.
then seeing how the batters actually intent goes, again, what we were talking in the previous show also, as soon as you lose early wickets, then it's going to be a catch-22 situation. You don't know how to approach from there.
Look, I mean, see.
And India, by the way, isn't the best team in reading conditions also. So what a fighting total for India could well be wrong also.
I mean, we saw that in 2022.
Yeah, 23 too.
I mean, if you look at it, Providence goes by the trend that yes, you can chase. But again, it's very even. It's 5-5 in Providence. 5 teams have won, but 5 teams have also lost. But anyway, Rohit will insist, see, we anyway wanted to bat first. I
Yeah.
think that is the body language that he will give out. And that is why, see, England have won the toss. But it will depend on how well their bowlers step up. And I think with the sun out and everything, Adil Rashid is in the game now.
And the thing is, Adil Rashid, I remember last time also in the semi-final troubled India big time. I think he only got 1 wicket.
20 runs.
Yeah, but the economy at which he bowled, the Indian, batters were unable to get him away.
Yeah.
And that was really, a game changer. And plus, he got the big wicket.
Or Surya Kumar Yadav.
Exactly, he got Sky. So that was a big thing. And
Yeah.
this year also, by the way, Adil Rashid, I think has been right up there in terms of the wicket taking. He's been phenomenal. He's looked a man reinvented this year.
I mean, if you're all focusing on Adam Zampa, there was, I think, one of the experts who said, if you're all focusing on Zampa as one of the best white ball spinners,
Adil
what wrong
Rashid?
has Adil Rashid
No,
done?
absolutely, I agree with that assessment. And the thing is that both of them have won the similar number of titles.
Yeah,
If you're
they
looking
have.
at it, they've both won
Two.
one ODI World Cup and one T20 World Cup. So
Yeah,
they've been
2019 and
linchpins.
2021.
Do you have
And
the 11s?
We will have the 11th.
We will have the
soon.
11th. I think we haven't
received it. Oh, there we go. So India are unchanged. by the looks of it. Yeah, they're unchanged. So Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, you've got Rishabh Pant, Sky, Shivam Dube, Hardik Pandya, Ravindra Jadeja, Akshar Patel, Kuldeep Yadav, Arshdeep Singh, and of course
Jasprit
Jasprit
Bumrah.
Bumrah.
Yeah.
So that's India's 11 and England's 11, and for those of you all who wonder why it is we can't, this thing is because more often than not we have to, or not more often than not, we always have to have our televisions on mute. We do not want to be annoying anyone.
Yeah.
So we'll get to know the England 11 in that regard soon. But India going, let's say, unchanged, not a surprise.
England are also unchanged. Yeah, because
see, Phil Salt, Butler, Bairstow, Brook, that's 4. Moeen Ali, Liam Livingston, Sam Curran, Chris Jordan, Jofra Archer, Adil Rashid, and
Reece Topley.
No Will Jacks.
No Will
I
Jacks.
expected it. 3 spinners is more than enough.
Yeah.
You will want some, and look, there are other pacers. Someone like a Topley can take pace off. A Chris Jordan can take pace off. Sam Curran can take pace off. So I think that's what they look to approach.
Sam Curran, if you look at it, Chris Jordan got 4 wickets in 1 over versus the USA.
With mostly cutters.
Yeah, and he bowled stump to stump.
Yeah.
I think we are seeing Air Jordan have a kind of a resurgence in the T20 World Cup.
And it's not just I would say for T20 World Cup, in T20 cricket in general, over the past year, he's really worked on his batting.
Yeah.
So in the death overs, he's striking at about 160 in T20 leagues. Now, of course, let's take T20 leagues with a pinch of salt, but Jordan's always been an outlier in the sense that he's done phenomenally for England whenever he's gotten a chance. In fact, this year there was talk that they might not actually go for him. He was at home, I think he's a Jamaica native.
He's a Barbados native.
Yeah, Barbados native. And he was at home there. He didn't expect a call up. And then he got it out of the blue. And he was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. Because I think otherwise, if not for him, you could have seen maybe a Chris Wokes.
Yeah.
But Wokes is someone who I think they look for more in swinging conditions.
Yeah.
These have been anything but swinging conditions.
So Topley, a left-hand option that is going to really be the real test for India.
And you've got Jofra.
You've got Jofra, you've got a Jordan, you've got a Curran, you've got a Moeen, you've got a Livingston, and you've got a Rashid. Man, that bowling is
that's the thing.
well-rounded.
They don't have like, it's not out and out quality in the sense that Archer of now is not the Archer of, let's say, 2019-20.
Yep.
He's not that. But he's still gotten you 9 wickets in this tournament.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He's not
And
been at
his
his best.
action is so smooth and so fluent that he just gives that impact and he gets that nip of the wicket, especially in these conditions. I think you were talking about the fact that we said that the fast bowlers, England fast bowlers might not get that advantage because of the sun now coming out, but I feel that they are going to get, because the wicket might just be having a lot of juice in it.
It might be. So we are joined by Nikhil from Providence, Guyana, and Nikhil, vital toss for England to win, opting to field.
Yeah, I mean, you would say that. I think on 2 counts. One, because nobody really has an idea of the pitcher, so you don't know what's a good total, and I think England then would want India to bat first for that. Then secondly, maybe with a bit of rain around, if it is a shortened game indeed, batting second, you'd have a rough idea as to what is it that you'd want to chase. Maybe the third reason being that a bit of juice because of the rain, it had been covered, moisture, so if the bowlers can extract something to begin with. These 3 factors, I think, is what has ensured that England have decided to put India first. But I don't think India would complain too much. I guess batting first, also not a bad idea. If you know it's going to be a slow and a low pitch, it'll only get progressively worse as the game goes on. And with the sun beating down as it is now, you can see the skies behind me, nice and bright, all blue. So with that happening, I mean, it may not also be a bad idea to bat first, put a total on board. If it is going to be that 135, 36, 37 run winning pitch, then it'll put pressure on the chasing side. So I think that's the reason why England decided. As I said, India won't be complaining. Looking at the English team, the Indian team has made no changes, but the English team, see, look at the kind of options they have. That because of all-rounders like a Liam Livingston, like a Moeen Ali, like a Sam Curran, see the bowling options that they get. Even Chris Jordan to that extent, no mug with a bat, rather good. So you look at the bowling options. So effectively the bowlers that they're playing are Jofra, Archer and Reece Topley in that sense. And to an extent, Adil Rashid, who I know domestically has got a lot of runs to first-class cricket, but let's assume. So those are only 3 batters there, 9, 10 and 11, 3 tail-enders in that sense. Adil Rashid, I'm still counting as many would still count him as a decent batter. I think 5 first-class hundreds or something like that, but 9, 10 and 11, the remaining, just look at them all-rounders. See the kind of bowling options then they get. They've got 3 spinners in Moeen, Livingston, as well as Adil Rashid. Look at the fast bowling option. You've got a Jordan, you've got a Reece Topley, you've got a Jofra Archer and a Sam Curran. So 4 fast bowling options, as well as 3 spinning options. So that's a well-rounded attack, plus they bat very deep. So overall, the balance of the English team is looking good. That's why they are the defending champions. That's why they are a dangerous team. But I think the conditions and the form that the Indian team has shown all along in this tournament, I think still gives them that slight edge. But it's only just a slight edge.
Yeah, I mean, we always feared, see, this is a well-rounded bowling lineup that England have, plus they have the depth. India also are a well-rounded unit, plus they also have the depth until number 8. Now, we have seen Nikhil in past T20 knockout matches. one facet of the Indian team has looked vulnerable. You saw in 2022 both looked vulnerable. In 2016 you saw that the bowling was vulnerable. If India are to have a bad day, I mean everybody's saying that there is one bad day coming, be it the semi-final or the final, you're now in that lottery stage. Which area do you think that the Indian team would have addressed far more heading into this game?
I think the bowling, in that sense, I think the bowling, there's less likelihood of the bowlers having a bad day, because I think that's the kind of depth that they have. Plus the conditions that are going to be on offer here, you really are not going to get a very high scoring game. So the bowlers being put under pressure, I doubt so. I mean, you can still put to an extent Ashdeep under pressure on occasions, maybe even a Hardik under pressure on occasions. But I think your rest of the bowlers should be good enough on the day, especially Jasprit Bumrah, Kuldeep Yadav. I mean, interestingly, the two left-arm spinners, they've not had a great time against this English batting lineup. I was looking at it. This English batting lineup has done rather well against an Akshar and a Jadeja. They might even attack them today. But maybe again, once I go, the conditions, slower conditions, may not allow that free-flowing batting that the English team would like. But then again, as I said, this English team can learn to adapt. They did. At the last World Cup, we've looked at those examples where they adapted based on situation. They may look to adapt. For India, the issue has been on occasions the batting. Yeah. But I don't think that the difference between this Indian team and previous team, previously when the batting did not click, especially the top order, it would send some sort of panic in the Indian team. I think that's one thing that they've changed. It doesn't matter if the top order doesn't get runs. I don't think the Indian team per se panics because they trust all the 8 batters. So that has kind of changed. You've had days where Rohit has got big runs, but there have been days where the big runs haven't come from the top, yet you've won. So that is what Rohit Sharma mentioned. Why I'm saying that they won't panic is because Rohit Sharma mentioned, he didn't say the perfect game was the Australia game where he got runs. He said the perfect game was Bangladesh game where the top order did not get any run, only 150, yet you got 190 plus. So I think if your mindset is that, if that is your perfect game, then I think it speaks a lot about the mindset of the team. The other thing that India would have to do, and no matter how much you say it, is to treat it as any other game to avoid that sort of pressure. Can you do that? It's easier said than done. Remember, they've crossed the semi-final hurdle in the 50-over World Cup. So if that is done, then is semi-final still an issue, or does final then become an issue and then not to worry much about semi-final? That's something we'll have to see. Do the memories of the last semi-final come back? Do you try a little hard trying to change the perception that was built in the last semi-final? And if you try a little hard, that can go against you. Many things to consider for the Indian team. But I reckon the one thing that they've been able to do is take that pressure off the top order. They are going to attack it. By the way, it's going to be interesting. See, on one end, you're thinking that it's a low-scoring pitch, so be conservative, bat conservatively, consolidate, because you might lose a lot of wickets. But on the other hand, the best time to get runs here is the power play. Yep. When I'm not saying 60 odd runs, but the ball is hard. So even if you're aiming at 45, 40 runs without losing a wicket, that will be the perfect power play. And so if you get 45 there, you can look at another 100 runs in the remaining 14 odd overs, which isn't a tall ask, by playing percentage cricket. That's a strategy that India can look at. Maybe even accelerate towards the end if you have wickets in hand. They can look at, but the focus is going to be attack in the 6 overs, get as many runs as possible, even if it means losing a wicket or two. Don't panic. The plan B of being conservative can come later. Let's see if that approach is going to be on. I know for Rohit Sharma, it's definitely going to be on. Looking at Virat Kohli, the way he's played this tournament, the way he was practicing, I'm sure that approach is going to be on from him as well. And somewhere the Indian team wouldn't mind batting first.
Yeah. So, what do you think, according to you, how quickly does India need to assess the conditions? Because nobody, as of now, knows what the right score could be on this wicket. So, how quickly do you think? And also, we have to keep in mind that the power play is going to be where the maximum number of runs are going to be are needed. So, how quickly does the team need to, Rohit specifically and Virat need to assess the conditions? And previously, we have seen India isn't like the best team to actually assess conditions and then decide what score are they targeting by the end of 20 overs.
No, so I think the job for India is easy now because of that approach. Because of that approach that the openers have, and I can bet my bottom dollar, I think you'll see a similar approach even here. Attacking instincts, you will see. That may result in you losing a couple of wickets early, but I think what that approach does is allows you time to even assess conditions. Listen, when you made up your mind, you're not waiting to assess conditions and then bat, then you're not wasting any deliveries. If you've decided that, see, whatever the condition, the best time is to bat here and I have to attack with, if you go with that mindset, then that allows you the first few overs to play with that mindset, and those first few overs will then tell you what is a correct total. So I think that's a perfect approach to have. And as we've seen with them, that's the approach that they've had. So if that is how it's going to be, then I think it should sort. The problem arises is when you're going to take 2-3 overs to see the pitch and then decide the approach. That's where the crucial overs are lost. And then you're neither here nor there. So I don't think the Indian team will do it. Plus, I think in assessing conditions, in terms of, what the pitches, the Indian batters aren't bad. I think they're more experienced than any other batters. It's just that execution hasn't been there. So when the pitch has been really good to bat on, you've kind of frozen, you've not tried to take that approach. I think that has been a conscious decision. We're not going to do it. So it works both ways. If you have an attacking approach, you get runs initially, and by the time you've assessed the conditions, you've already got some runs on board. So works both ways, and that would be the perfect strategy, I reckon.
Nikhil, are you, from whatever the local reports are saying, now can we say with certainty that the worst of the weather is gone?
Never say never. I don't know, but what I can show you now, yeah, it does seem like that. So look at the blue skies. It's all blue all around. Remember earlier when I was showing you, there were a few grey clouds here and there that would pop up. I don't see any grey clouds now. It's completely blue, white clouds there. So at least the next hour, couple of hours, I don't think so. But the weather does come from the ocean. And if it is to come once again from that side where the ocean is, if it comes from there, the breeze blows it in and there is always a breeze here, then I don't know. I know the weather prediction was very good for the afternoon. So I think if you get this 3.5 hours of good sunlight, which is expected, I think you'll get a game anyway. So yeah, that should be. See, you don't even need that much actually. You need 1.5 hours of India's batting, even if they bat 20 overs, and then you only need another 10 overs. So that's about 40-45 minutes. So effectively, you're looking at about 2.5 hours if you get good sunlight, which it seems like at the moment an official game is done. Whether then it's decided on Duckworth, Lewis, or overall, we'll have to wait and watch.
The other thing, Nikhil, when I see those visuals that you have for us, comes to my mind. I'm just going back to St. Lucia, where things were rather windy to begin with, and that's what gave Arshdeep Singh, who's been at the center of a lot of movement that some of the bowlers got. Today, though, what is it in terms of wind speed? It doesn't look as windy to me from what we can see right now. But since you're there on the ground, if you could give us an insight, how windy is it, and what is it that we can expect from the pace bowlers in terms of movement then?
Yeah, not windy at all. There is a breeze which you get in coastal areas anyway, but that's about it. But not that heavy breeze that we saw in both Antigua and St. Lucia, where you had to, even as a batter, it became a tactical thing. When you're a bowler, you were thinking which end to bowl, which bowler, depending on whether he brings the ball in or takes it away. That was a conscious decision that was taken by captain, so that was crucial. And the other thing is that even in terms of hitting the batters, had to think, because certain boundaries, even if they were short boundaries, you're hitting against the wind. And I did see it. See, when you're watching it live, you really get to see it. You see a shot go, and you know that's going to go for a 6 and yet falls inside. It happened. On certain occasions, you see the shot, you know that, this is going to be caught, but the wind takes it over for 6. That I have seen with my own eyes. On TV, you can't make out, but when you see it in real life, with the arc that the ball takes, you get an idea where it's going to be caught or 6. But it completely changes depending on the direction of the wind. And teams have been mindful of that. They've been conscious of that in terms of their hitting. This time around, there's no heavy breeze. It's just mild breeze. So that is not going to play a crucial role. Plus, no short, long boundaries. Equidistance both sides because you were using the center pitch. So that is also like tactically you were looking at which bowler and which batter, left hand or right hander, which side is his left side boundary. You have to see all that. You don't need to. Pretty much simple tactically in that sense. Based on boundaries, the straight boundaries are very small. The square boundaries slightly longer than the straight ones, but still not as long as the ones that we have seen in St. Lucia.
Yeah, because it is 70 meters is the square size, the square boundary.
70
meters.
square.
Yeah, 69 and 70, and the straight boundary is 79.
It's probably one of the bigger grounds in the Windies.
So
So
you know
this
the
is-
area around the cow corner, extra cover is going to be very difficult to clear.
70, yeah,
It's
70 meters.
Usually-
So, Nikhil, if by that dimensions, is this the longest ever that they are facing in the West Indies out of all the games they played India? If it's 70 meters square, 79 meters straight?
No, it doesn't seem like that at all. I'm a bit surprised because the St. Lucia boundary, definitely, I can bet my bottom dollar, the square boundary is St. Lucia much longer than here in Guyana. Definitely. Straight, definitely shorter. I don't know where those dimensions are because to the naked eye, St. Lucia was much bigger, seemed much bigger than the one that we're seeing here in Guyana.
Okay.
This is more. It gave you more Feroz Shah Kotla vibes, right? You said.
Yeah, in terms of straight boundaries.
Yeah, straight boundary. Yeah.
So the game is just about to start. How do you think is Rohit Sharma actually going to tackle a Jofra Archer? He doesn't have the best numbers in front of a Jofra Archer, even though it's not the same Jofra Archer like you also mentioned previously. But even in the Afghanistan game, Rohit Sharma was a little tentative to begin with against a Fazalak Farooqi. So here he's not so
Little
successful.
Pura he was tentative.
Yeah.
He was
And then
he's
after
going to
that
face
he got it
completely
Yeah.
at sea.
And after that he got that Australia game.
Yeah.
So how do you think, is it going to be the same attacking approach, or are we going to see what we saw during the Afghanistan game to begin with?
100% attacking approach. I don't think he's going to be tentative unless he gets beaten, but I don't think there will be a lack of intent. Also, not the same Jofra Archer. I've said it before.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that. Jofra Archer was tough for anyone to handle, let alone Rohit Sharma. This Rohit Sharma is shown different form. It's not the same Jofra Archer. The other matchup will be Moeen Ali and Virat Kohli. That's
Yeah.
also an interesting matchup.
Yeah.
Moeen's got Virat a few times, so let's see if that
ball
happens.
going
Which is
in.
why I said tactically.
Bumrah Butler also, Nikhil. Bumrah Butler also.
Yeah, but tactically not a bad idea to send a Shivam Dubey up the order. One, because he likes when the ball is hard and coming onto the back. That's it. So you send him lower down the order. This is not the pitch that will allow him to hit through the line. So shuru mein he can chalao. Secondly, if they are going to bring their spinners early on, also not a bad idea. Take a gamble because Pant and all I think can still play in different gears. Dubey might not be. So if you want that top tier kind of batting to begin with, because of the power play there and the ball hard, maybe send him there and allow everyone else to play the other kind. Even Sky has shown that he can play that other sort of an inning as he showed in the game versus USA.
Yep.
So just send Dubey there because I don't know whether he has that gear 2-3 at all.
Yeah. Lastly, Nikhil, you know we don't want you to miss the first ball of the match. So before we let you go, if you could leave us with your prediction, the match winner, I think we all know, but the score.
Oh, match winner also very close to call, but yeah, I'm picking India. I'd say 55-45, India's favor. Primary, I would have said 50-50, but I think the conditions are slightly in India's advantage, even though now the English players also play in certain conditions. So 55-45, I give India. Score prediction. I'm going India 157 because I'm picking India to win. 157 should be a winning total, I reckon.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's not going to be enough against England.
Well, I'm going with 162. Looking at the average scores that have been there in the last 3 to 4 years, I think it's 160.
Isn't it 171, Siddharth?
162. I mean,
Winning score,
the sample size is different. I've just taken the last 2 years, 2-3 years at that point. 162 seems to be my kind of a score that India are making, and India winning. I give them 52-48.
I say full on revenge vibes. 169 this time they'll defend it.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have the highest prediction here. I'm going with 173 and 60-40 in favor of India.
I'm going 164, but England winning.
Oh.
I feel that we're going to see
I'm
one
just taking on the
special
role I
knock
took on
from
last
the
World
middle
Cup.
order.
Yeah.
I feel that there's going to be one special knock from the middle order.
Well, let's see, because now England are not reverting to anything. They're opening with Reece Topley, and Topley, I thought a spinner would come on.
No, they might send on a Moeen in the second over, but he'll always
But
start.
in the power play, it's a
Yeah,
risky
it's a
thing
risk.
also.
Against Rohit Sharma specifically.
Correct.
Yeah, so you'll open with Topley and Archer, and Sam Curran might get some
The first
overs in
change,
the middle, and then you've got your 3 spinners operating, or 2. I think only 2.
They might very well, if they find that the pitch grips, then Moeen could get more than a couple of overs, I think.
Not Moeen. I think Livingston might get
Livingston
fewer.
will definitely. He's their second spinner by default. I'm
Yeah.
saying third spinner, this is the kind of pitch you could see something happen, but let's wait and watch.
Yep. It will. So yes, we are looking at the start of the match finally.
Is
after
anyone nervous here?
Yeah.
Even I am.
No,
That's why I asked.
no, I am not nervous because seen it, done it, viewed it lots and lots of times. So yeah, I'm not that nervous. In this particular game, there will be a winner, there will be a loser. We just hope that the rain just. Looking at the distance over there. Oh, more dark
Anyway.
clouds.
It's because I still see Nikhil's frame here and the broadcaster visuals also parallel to it. When Nikhil's got the sun beating right over his head, it's so bright. But
Very
yeah.
bright. There's only one bit of dark cloud there.
Yeah, it's exactly what the broadcaster showed. So that's why the mixed reaction over here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's very clear.
But then also beyond that, I can see blue sky. So even if it comes, it will be like a 5-minute passing shot.
Ah,
even if it
perfect.
comes.
But the direction in which Nikhil the wind's blowing, is it taking the clouds away from the stadium or it's headed towards the stadium?
Proper meteorological
It's headed
vibes.
Towards the stadium.
Oh.
I know, proper meteorological vibes.
See,
we
we're
are
just
getting
trying to
here.
understand. Part of the game, Siddharth. Part of the
Yeah,
game.
I know.
Anyway, first ball Nikhil bowled. Were there any oohs and ahs you could hear? The other day you sounded off the dismissal well in advance. But were there any oohs and ahs you could hear right now? Rohit Sharma just beaten on the outside edge.
Aside from the ones from the studio.
He's disconnected.
gone, he's
Anyway,
gone.
let's just take.
It's a
beautiful
perfect
delivery.
trap for Rohit Sharma, angling 2-3 away from him, and then you'll see the ball.
But then there
Dipping
is
back
no
in.
wind also that is there. And that's a four.
Yeah.
It's a
He
tricky
tried the
boundary.
same thing against Cummins, but it paid off at that
Edge.
time.
Yeah,
I
very
think
tricky
this
boundary.
just settle the nerves a bit.
Yep. So we'll take some comments.
Take a couple of
or-
comments and then, then after that, call it quits. Hopefully, this will be the last interruption we have for a
I
while.
know.
Okay, we'll just read out a couple of your predictions.
Yeah.
India 185 above and England 175. So close match
close
is what
match.
Mirage rule
Yeah, it will
says.
definitely be a close game.
But 185 on this ground, yeesh.
165 Ashish Dhar I believe has gone with no prediction from GGK yet. Priyanshu says that 150-60 type pitch. Let's see though. Let's see. We've gotten an assessment of an idea of what you guys think as well.
Yep.
It's more on the same lines as what we thought too.
Conservative.
It's 160 there and
173,
thereabouts.
162,
We-
169 and 157. No, he said 157. Nikhil said 157.
Any which way, we'll
Yeah.
take our leave now. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a protracted preview. In fact, it's been 2 previews. But at least we're getting a full game and fingers crossed gets done with the right result. Dil ko ek hi awaaz sunai dena chahiye. You know which one that is. Thank you guys for joining us. As always, like, share, subscribe, follow us on socials. Don't forget, of course, download the SportsTech app. Stay tuned. We'll be bringing you all the updates right now, though, from Harshit, Siddharth, me, Shane, Shashwat, and Nikhil from the ground. It is goodbye.
Bye-bye.